Make sure to subscribe and click that notification bell if you want to get the videos as soon as they upload. YouTube, what up? Welcome back to another Pounds 978 custom video. And right now I want to talk to you guys about 3 original customs, 3 original designs created by I don't know who, so I apologize, but I will show you some logos and some signatures later. Maybe you guys can identify them and then put the names in the comment section. But I wanted to make all 3 of these separately, but I figured it'd be less time consuming if I just throw them all in one review. Plus they all come from the same idea, right? Original concepts into action figures. And I think all of the designs were pretty cool, otherwise I wouldn't have made it. These 3 were commissioned for a friend of mine's. Shout out to you, who also commissioned some female customs that are coming up, so stay tuned for those. But these 3 are super dope. I don't know too much about them other than some talented local artists created them. And by them, I mean the reference art. Obviously, you guys know I made these. You might have previously watched the review for the blue guy, and I forgot what we called him then. But I'm going to just throw him in this review anyway because he's part of the same trio. So that's that. But let's start with the black and red one. I made a post on Instagram asking people to throw some names at what they thought suited these figures the best. And one guy named him Crimson. And the guy who commissioned this off me said he liked Crimson, so we're going to call him Crimson. But where did his design come from? I'll show you the reference art that was sent to me. Black, red, and gray Spider-Man with gray cobwebs, a red emblem that forms a border around the body to separate the black and the gray is the way I kind of saw this thing. Seeing I only had one picture of it, I had to kind of imagine what the rest of the leg and around the arm and back would look like. From what I can see, it looks really, really cool. And there's the name who created it. If you can see who that is, let me know in the comment section. Shout out to you, bro, because this is a cool design. And shout out to my boy Smurf, because whenever he wants a custom, he provides me with the body. It's really easy. He kind of knows what he wants, and that's perfect. I like people like that who already know what they want, how to build it. I mean, we can always talk about how to build a figure, but that's another story. Anyway, shout out to you. But this was on a Superior Octopus body, so if you have one of those, you can make this. This is the harder of the 3 to make. And granted, Superior Octopus is mainly black, so you get that cheat code right there, but you're still going to have to do a lot of work with prepping. For me, I did it in steps, painted the entire figure black. Then I added the red logo and the red trim all around the body, followed by the gray cobwebs and having the wing, the rest of the webs on the side of the legs and arms. The back also just easy. And as cool as it looked, I needed to match the reference shot, and in order to do that, I had to tape up all the work that I've done and then carefully airbrush gray over it. Wasn't as bad as it seemed, but once you airbrush the gray, you're gonna have to come back and clean up the red because sometimes the paint will seep under the tape and then you'll have to repaint those edges. But once you get that done, everything will look pretty cool. And I think it looks pretty good. There's only one spot that bothers me the most on it, and I'll point it out to you in a second. But for what it is, I think it does look pretty accurate to the reference shot. Is it a one-to-one exact replica? No, of course not. I mean, it never really is. Unless you have a 3D printer and 3D software where you're kind of like making this yourself, you're not going to make it exactly the way it looks. I mean, you can. There are times where people do pull off crazy, accurate customs, and shout out to them for doing that. But I think for what it is, it serves its purpose. It does look like the picture, and I think that's cool. That's all I can say about it. Again, if you have a better name other than Crimson, put it in the comment section down below and let me know what you think. But I do like this one a lot. I think the gray airbrush brung it out. And one day I want to show you guys how to airbrush. I want to show you guys this technique I have that I think is really easy. And you can do it just like in 10 seconds rather than just airbrushing little spots individually to get that highlighted look. I'll show you guys one day. A lot of people ask me, do you airbrush or do you hand paint figures? For the majority, I hand paint figures. I only airbrush if I need to do highlights or shading. Everything is usually hand painted. The webs, the red logos, the black. The only thing that was airbrushed was the gray shading on top of everything. But I mean, you could airbrush it as a base coat too. That works. There really is no better way to do it. It's what you think is easier. Airbrushing is less time consuming though, so I know a lot of people would prefer to just base coat everything with an airbrush. I don't know. I just don't want to take out all the tools for that. But let's move forward by moving backwards a little bit and showing you this custom that I showed you maybe a couple weeks ago. But again, this is part of the commission trio. These were all commissioned for my buddy Smurf, who commissioned a massive amount of customs for me, like 9 or 10 customs in a month or 2 span. So shout out to you, bro, for all that. Put me to work for sure. But yeah, I just wanted to show you this. It's not really much to talk about. It's blue, has a black spider, and the eyes are blue. I didn't sculpt the eyes. I just painted them because I thought it would be more accurate if I just painted them. I know it's a cop-out, I guess, but it looks good. I like the green on the reference shot. I asked him if he wanted me to airbrush a little bit on the side, and he told me no, he was fine with the solid colors. And I thought, I guess that makes sense. This is just lighting, so it's not part of his design, but it looks good. And there's the logo for whoever created it. Shout out to you. Pretty simple to make. If you want to make yourself one of these, all you need is the blue X-Men Deadpool, and then strip away all his accessories and a little bit of paint that he has on him, and voila, you can get this. Pretty simple. I think it looks pretty accurate to the reference shot, honestly, other than the green lighting on the side. Other than, which I just thought about now, the black on his arms. I forgot to put the black stripe on his arm, and I've been telling my buddy I'm gonna go back and do it for the longest time, and instead I've made like 5 customs since that he commissioned as well, so he can't be too mad. But I told him I'm gonna get back to this and paint the black line, so I should get back to that before I even finish reviewing this dude. But here it is. Again, if you wanted to see him, I don't have no name for him, so if you have a name, feel free to put one in the comment section down below. Then we have this black and green Spider-Man. Looks just like Big Time, except he has web wings, and his design is slightly different, of course. But the black and green makes it look like Big Time. The eyes are super cool. They have this like sea green look to them, and I thought that was the most unique part of this figure. The eyes look totally different in comparison to Big Time. I took the liberty to change the gloves. I kind of flipped it in reverse because of the way the superior octopus hands were sculpted. I do like the way the legs are parallel, but that was kind of not hard to do, but you gotta be careful when you make parallel lines. Parallel and equally spaced lines. But there's an interesting story here. After doing a little research, I dug up and found that there are 2 artists responsible for this design. One for the creation of the design itself, and the other for the color. As great as black and green looks on this Spider-Man, it was not intended to be colored this way. Tony the Hitman Horton took it upon himself to color this Spider-Man black and green, and you can see his logo and signature on the actual reference shot itself. And at first I couldn't really understand it. It's like trying to read graffiti. Sometimes it's so elaborate but so simple that you overlook it and overthink it. But again, after doing research, it was Tony the Hitman Horton who created this colorway and turned it from black and white into black and green. So if you have a DeviantArt account, let Tony the Hitman Horton know Pounds 978 Customs made a custom of the design he worked on with Pascal Verhoef, who was the original pen behind this Spider-Man design. And you can see that the original colorway was black and white. He even made his own cover for it, which looks pretty dope. So this could have been any way, black and blue, black and red. And I like the choice of it being black and green, especially the eyes and wrist shooters. That's sea green. It just catches my eye. I don't know what it is. The best of both worlds. Looks like they may even be 3 people responsible. Pascal, Tony, and Mikey the Madman Glover. It's a multiverse of madness. But shout out to you 3 gentlemen for putting this design together. I like it. Again, my favorite part probably being the eyes. And honestly, I love the way these eyes came out. I painted them. I didn't sculpt them. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? But I think they work. I think they look so good. The symmetry between the 2 are pretty even, and I'm pretty impressed, honestly, because sometimes I'll be messing up when it comes to eyes. But everything is cool. Everything is rub-free, prepped before I painted anything, so you can feel free to move the arms and the butterfly joints back and forth without any issues. You guys should know how that goes. I crunched this figure in one of my live videos, and I know my boy who commissioned it was like cringing at that moment, but I assured you everything was fine, right? See? But that's it. These are the 3 customs that I recently made. Let me know which one you think is the best, and if you have any names for any one of them or all 3 of them, feel free to put them in the comment section below. If you know the artist responsible for the black and red and blue and black Spider-Man designs, comment their names down below so I can place it in the description. And shout out to Pascal, Mikey, and Tony for the black and green Spider-Man design. It was executed well. If you like this video, feel free to give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more content, and don't forget to click the notification bell if you want to get the video as soon as it uploads.
If you choose to subscribe, you the man. Yes, you. Everyone below in the comments, yes, you too. Thank you very much for showing me love. Who knew? It's ironic how we think out the box for you too, right?